1v1 on Langreskaya. Sage6 versus HelpingHans. Sage6 in the north base playing as Soviets, and HelpingHans in the south base playing as Oberkommando West.
Supply Auftrag is ready for orders.
And Langreskaya typically is argued to favor the Axis due to the fact that you can cover large stretches of the map with just a few MGs and therefore delay the game for quite a while, especially the spread of the victory points is very linear rather than broad, so it's very difficult to take all three as the Allies, which also somewhat lengthens the game. However, it does depend on the Oberkommando choosing a doctrine that gives them access to the MG34 if they want to adopt a strategy that sort of locks down one half of the map. And we do see that HelpingHans is in the south side, which is a little bit more defensible due to the building layout and hedges and so on, but I think they're actually, in that regard, not all that different. The south side may be a little bit better, but the map in general, that's pretty much just the way it's laid out, is what favors the access, not necessarily base placement. We do see Sturmtiger Sage6 going with conscript start, double conscript start, and working on the right side of the map, just capping, not doing anything too aggressive to start off with, and HelpingHans is going to send his Sturm Pioneers to the central victory point to start capping on his opponent's side of the hedges, while his Volksgrenadiers sort of spread out and just grab some territory. First engagement looks like it's going to be conscripts encountering Volksgrenadiers here in the south, or possibly something running into these Sturm Pioneers here in the middle. And it looks like HelpingHans is actually skipping past this victory point, or strategic point, taking this one first, probably to sort of scout out what his opponent is doing. He has seen through the fog that his opponent is over here, so he knows that there's something over here. He also knows that this all has been capped, scouting with his half-track. It looks like he will find this squad of conscripts with his half-track, and he's not moving to engage with anything. He's just sticking back in cover, working on capturing this while his Sturm Pioneers stay in cover. They'll only be taking fire from 2 conscripts, and they are at maximum range in green, however, so he doesn't need to worry too much about that. Supply Half-Track also has tanked a few hits for these Volksgrenadiers. They're standing at max range as well. Half-Track will destroy the cover over here, giving those Volksgrenadiers the advantage in this engagement, and the conscripts know that and fall back to a defensive position over here. We do see an M3 being produced, so Special Rifle Command is up, and he has sent that immediately to his opponent's fuel to harass that, which will give Sage6 control of both fuel points if HelpingHans doesn't move to respond in some way, and he is in fact going to go for the cutoff here, so that at the very least his opponent will not have this fuel point, even if he can't quite take control of it himself. However, now that 2 squads of Volksgrenadiers have been mobilized to the right side, those conscripts will get pushed back, and he will be able to move up and take some territory over here, as there's only 1 squad of conscripts in this building to defend. However, the M3 actually dropped off the squad of combat engineers for capping, and then moved back over here to start pushing away these Volksgrenadiers. And it has no squad garrisoned inside of it right now, but the machine gun on there is actually doing pretty good damage to those Volksgrenadiers, pushing them out of cover, forcing them to retreat, so nice move there. Conscripts also are actually doing quite well against the Sturm Pioneers. If we take a look at the this side of the house, there are 4 windows. There is a window over here as well, so all of the Sturm Pioneers should be able to fire, but they're still taking damage at this somewhat long range for them. I guess the conscripts just perform a little bit better in that scenario, for whatever reason. However, he does place some Volksgrenadiers back into the house as the conscripts move up to capture, and they actually, I think he will not be able to take this point. I'm not sure. That's going to be quite close. He is getting into cover, and we do see a squad of conscripts being transported by the M3. It's actually quite refreshing to see an M3 used as a transport rather than a assault vehicle. So nice usage of that unit by Sage6 for sure. And then the conscripts do just barely manage to get the point captured before being wiped out by that Volksgrenadier squad. He cut that rather close though, for sure. Combat engineers continue their harassment of the left side over here. Conscripts continuing to harass on the right side, and we do see a sniper hitting the field, which should be no surprise, given that there was an M3 there. The Volksgrenadiers do spot it at maximum range, thanks to the increased sight radius given by the building, and so rather than stay in there and get harassed, he will simply pop out. Oh, he is getting back inside low. He suspects, I think, that the sniper has moved up, and yes, it is moving up. It's getting way too close to those Volksgrenadiers now, actually. He needs to get that sniper out of there. Notices a little bit late and is not able to react in time to position it a little better, and he's forced to make a retreat, so he will not be able to utilize that in this engagement. However, combat engineers continuing to harass on the left, conscripts harassing in the middle, and HelpingHans is really struggling for territory at this point. Despite having great unit preservation and doing really well in the engagements, he needs to focus a little more on map control, and as you can see, he's now spreading himself out a little more, trying to get better control. And the flag half track is actually going, a new flag half track is now moving towards the left side to chase off some combat engineers, and we also see an MG34 hitting the field. So he has picked a doctrine that will give him access to machine guns, and it is Luftwaffe doctrine. The M3 with the conscripts over here chases off this squad of Stern Pioneers and Volksgrenadiers, but in turn the flag half track has chased away some engineers. Sniper is also making it back to the field. And Hans is actually playing quite aggressively. Rather than focusing on his side of the hedges, he's actually continually making pushes towards his opponent's side of the map, so interesting decisions there. And he's actually pushing very aggressively with his flak half track. He's going to try and hit that sniper, but it looks like he may get AT grenaded. Decides not to park, and he is simply going to kite those conscripts to the best of his ability. But there is another squad over here, and I think he may have gotten himself a little bit trapped. He's going to run straight into that. Here it comes, and there's another squad over there. There goes the first AT grenade for the damaged engine. Two more squads of conscripts moving up, and I think that's a dead flak half track. He has no infantry nearby to support. He's going to try to set up, but it's futile, and that sniper lured that flak half track to its death before it could even inflict one kill on his enemy, so that was definitely a way too over-aggressive attempt by HelpingHans there. Pretty much a total waste of that unit. Hopefully he will be able to recover from that setback somehow. We do see fuel transfer being activated, and he may go for a Puma, or he may save up to plant his next supply half track. I'm not sure. Lots of mines apparently got planted over here on the left side. We do see 3 Volksgrenadiers have triggered a mine, died to that. One of the MG34 crew members died. Apparently the MG34 was vaporized. There it goes. It like appears magically in that guy's hands. Volksgrenadiers hiding out behind this hedge, waiting for an opportunity to make their next assault, or just waiting for these conscripts to come around the side. They get immediately suppressed by that MG34. Volksgrenadiers fire on them as well. These conscripts start harassing the center. Sniper also firing away. But those conscripts cannot stay and give vision to the sniper for too long, and they're forced to make a hasty retreat. M3 continuing to do a good job transporting troops around the field. Combat engineers working on the northern fuel, while a fresh squad of guards has hit the field and is also harassing in the north. MG34 encounters another squad of conscript, and this time the Volksgrenadiers are not nearby to support, and he is going to get sniped. He's going to need to deal with that somehow. But he's a little bit preoccupied with these engagements here in the north. He is being forced to deal with a flamethrower squad, sending his Volksgrenadiers and a second MG34 to deal with that. Sniper continues firing on the MG34 in the south. Only one man left. He does notice, though, and he will get that out of there. Stern Pioneers are also moving up to support in that engagement. These flamethrowers may get the point capped. No, the Volksgrenadiers get into the territory just in time, and now they are pinned. Meanwhile, Stern Pioneers making quick work of the suppressed conscript squad, forcing it to retreat, and he actually retreats just in time to avoid a sniper shot, so he will only lose one Stern Pioneer in that engagement as well. Folks Grenadier is struggling against the infantry up here. MG34 is moving up, however. And we actually see an infantry support gun. Very first shot takes out a conscript. These guys are actually rather tightly bunched as well. They move to spread themselves out a little bit better. That was nowhere near hitting anything. Sniper also mobilizing over to the left side. The M3 continuing to be used effectively as a transport, moving troops back up to the front lines. And we do see a Tankovy Battalion Command coming up as well. And this freshly reinforced MG34 is moving up to try to deal the M3. I think if he had popped incendiary rounds, he actually would have taken it out there, but didn't want to waste the munitions. Unless it's a sure thing. And that M3 is actually getting a little bit dangerously close to this Panzerschreck squad over here. Sniper is firing away. Oh, and he's reversing right into it. He does tank the Panzerschreck shot, but the PPSHs are too dangerous for those Volksgrenadiers to stick around. And fortunately, he's already retreating the MG34 from that sniper fire, and he won't lose any full squads, but he does cut it quite close, especially with these conscripts over here on the flank. Fortunately, we do have another MG34 setting up to deal with that. And the M3 is making a hasty retreat to get some good repairs up. Sniper continuing to fire away. Oh, the infantry support gun actually takes out one of the snipers, squad members there. Oh, second shot nails it. 2 perfect shots from that infantry support gun, wiping out that sniper. Incredibly lucky barrage there. In fact, that wasn't even a barrage, that was just auto fire. What are the odds of that? Stern Pioneer is also doing very nice damage against these hit-the-dirt conscripts. Hit-the-dirt's really not all that great. Certainly better than standing in open cover, but it does mean that you will not be able to close into very effective range with your PPSHs, so it's not the greatest ability. And Helping Hans actually came out quite on top of that engagement, I think, with his killing that sniper. If we take a look at Sage6's army, he's got 2 conscript squads, engineers, some guards, and his M3. I don't think he's lost any full conscript squads, but I do think that losing that sniper is quite an unfortunate setback. Helping Hans is now going to be able to expand and retake the left side and begin harassing the right once again with some Volksgrenadiers. And if he can keep his opponent busy just trying to maintain his own side, then that will severely reduce his ability to attack. Oh, we actually see a mine going up right here on the base entrance, so he must be expecting Hans to go for a Puma, which he is, in fact, and to attempt to chase his M3 all the way back to his base. So, very interesting decision there. I'll be actually quite surprised if Helping Hans overextends quite so boldly as to go all the way back there with a Puma, but we'll see what he does. He did overextend with that half-track, so hopefully he learned his lesson a little bit about doing that. Conscripts getting suppressed. And MG34 over here. Molotov going out though on these Volksgrenadiers. They will be able to get out of the fire before taking any casualties, and the conscripts are going to get pinned, so that's going to force a retreat. We do have Sturmtiger Sage6 expanding though up here in the north. Oh, he has a shoe mine with only 2 casualties, so nothing catastrophic. Had the M3 hit that, that would have been much worse. But fortunately that did not happen, and now that Helping Hans is focusing so heavily on the right side, he actually didn't leave anything back over here to defend, and he's rapidly losing all of his resources. He probably should have waited for the next push before expanding so aggressively, but that ship has sailed, and now he will be forced to contend. Oh, he pops Fallschirmjäger out of the nearby building. He will probably get this damaged engine. Yes, there's the Panzerfaust. And T-34 is going to waste its shot versus those infantry right as the Puma rounds the corner, giving the Puma a huge advantage here. However, if he can bait the Puma over that mine, that could be bad news for the Puma. However, it looks like he's not even going to make such an attempt. He will, however, screen with these conscripts, and the Puma will not chase as he does not want to risk a damaged engine. Fallschirmjäger taking heavy damage from these flamethrower troops in the M3, and they will need to get to safety. That M3 is in extremely in an extremely dangerous position right by this Panzerschreck squad. Puma as well moving up, and I think that there's no way it will be able to escape. Nope. Puma's shot takes it out, and the flamethrower also takes a few casualties, forcing them to retreat. Meanwhile, conscripts getting pinned by a series of well-placed machine guns over here. More conscripts continuing to harass on the left side, though. It seems like Sage6 just always has another squad, and a full squad of Fallschirmjäger taken out over there. Meanwhile, over here, it looks like these guards... Ooh, nasty grenade on those Fallschirmjägers, and we do have DPs and another squad taken out. So that's a Volksgrenadier squad and a Fallschirmjäger squad down. As HelpingHans is having trouble maintaining his focus. Unfortunately, these guards did not recover the dropped Panzerschreck, and he allowed a squad of Sturm Pioneers to recover it, so did not get to fully capitalize on that squad wipe, unfortunately. HelpingHans will definitely be hurting after that series of engagements, especially now that this T-34 is going to be repaired back to full, and a second T-34 will be hitting the field. If you saw my last cast of HelpingHans versus Jezelin, he definitely loves Pumas. I would not be surprised to see a second Puma hitting the field very soon. But he will need more than just Pumas. We do see two Panzerschrecks. He'll probably be following up with a Raketenwerfer soon. But we'll see. T-34 catches a squad of Fallschirmjäger, and they don't fire a Panzerfaust. They opt instead to just get out of there. Puma following up. Gets off a nice shot. T-34 continues to chase. Could sustain a little more damage, but it does not decide to chase. It's hiding behind this building. You can use attack ground to fire through plant life, but you cannot use attack ground to fire through buildings. Buildings will always block shots, even when the building is destroyed. So something to keep in mind there. And it looks like pretty much all of these attempts to get past HelpingHans' MGs are failing. However, this squad actually, this MG repositioned itself, and it will not be able to suppress that squad, so he is being forced to make a full retreat of all units from the right side. He does have a spare squad of Volksgrenadiers harassing on the left, or retaking the left, but a T-34 is going to move up and push that away as well, so that's going to leave Sage6 in a very nice position as far as map control, as HelpingHans is forced to regroup. Do have Panzerschreck shots going out on the T-34. Oh, nice shot, or deflection there by the T-34's frontal armor. Another deflection. So, unfortunately, that T-34 will be getting away no problem. We do have the Minesweeper upgrade on this Sturm Pioneer squad, so their anti-infantry firepower is severely reduced, holding a Panzerschreck and a Minesweeper. And he is actually going to chase that Puma. He does not have the munitions to pop smoke. I'm not sure it will survive this next shot. It does manage to round the corner just barely. And that T-34 will need to get out of there. That Puma is definitely going to be just fine. So, unsuccessful push with the T-34, and we do have Vet 1 on the Puma. Vetting up a Puma is very important. I almost think that a highly vetted Puma is more useful than multiple Pumas. I think a Raketenwerfer would be better, because when you have multiple Pumas, you are splitting their veterancy up between them, basically, especially if you're keeping them together and using them against the same targets. More potential veterancy that could be stacked on one Puma gets split between two Pumas. And Pumas are great, but I almost think a Raketenwerfer would have been a better purchase. But we'll see if he's able to do it. Pumas also have a lot of trouble outproducing T-34s, I think, because T-34s are just a little bit better. And if we compare the price tag of those, we do see a T-34 is 310 and 100, whereas a Puma is 320 and 70. So it's actually more manpower for a Puma than it is for a T-34, and the fuel cost is similar. It's certainly cheaper for the Puma, but it's enough to be a problem. And in fact, considering the fuel penalty that the Oberkommando West have, it's actually roughly the same. It's basically the same purchase, T-34 and a Puma, but T-34 is just slightly better all around. It has more HP, similar damage in this matchup. So it's the Puma's agility and superior range are the main advantages that it has. And actually taking heavy damage on this T-34. I'm not sure if it's going to survive this. Oh, Puma misses its shot and gets damaged engine from a T-grenade, leaving it extremely vulnerable to this T-34, which is making a charge. And, oh, it misses another shot. Just horrible accuracy there. But That does leave this one with Vet 2, and it will be able to escape. So, pretty fair trade right there. 1 Puma for 1 T-34. It didn't really go in anybody's favor, I don't think. Infantry support gun has racked up 12 kills and continues firing away. He actually does have the hollow charge rounds, which he's firing. Oh no, he's not. He's firing the HE barrage. For a second, I really thought he was firing the hollow charge rounds at that T-34, which would have been the first time I've ever seen that. So it's an anti-vehicle barrage, which is absurd for obvious reasons. And I've never actually seen that ability used in a game, but that would have been exciting. But obviously the T-34 was in the fog, so he would have been firing somewhat blind based only on the blowtorch sound. And the ability is free, so you're not really spending anything to do it. It's just not particularly likely to actually accomplish anything. Conscripts forced away by an MG-34, as well as some Volksgrenadiers. Puma moving up as well. Vet 4 on this Shrek squad, working on the left side, not wanting to get pushed back by a T-34 again. And we do finally have a Rakettenwerfer hitting the field. I think that is a little bit late, but he doesn't want to spend any more fuel on Pumas, so he contents himself with Rakettenwerfer and moves up. Sage6, on the other hand, still recovering a little bit from the last battle. He has not quite managed to get this thing fully repaired. He wasn't comfortable repairing in the field, so he moved back. And we do have a nice force mobilizing. 1 T-34, 2 conscripts headed for the left side. Will easily win that engagement. Several conscripts, guards, a lot of PPSH upgrades as well moving forward. In the middle, MG-34 is well placed to deal with that, but this flanking force will definitely be able to overwhelm that, and this machine gun is not ideally placed for dealing with that. These Volksgrenadiers are going to be forced to retreat. There they go. Puma has a lot to try and juggle. He's got to worry about a T-34 on the left. He has to worry about this T-34 over here. He doesn't want to get too close to any enemy infantry, or he risks engine damage. Rakettenwerfer does set up in a rather nice position. First shot penetrates, but that is now Vet 2 on that T-34, giving it a pretty significant health boost, I think. That's not what it says, but it kind of looks like it. I guess that's not the case, though. Wow, that was a pretty nice strafe. That did heavy damage to all of these team weapons. Rakettenwerfer not opting to retreat, though, simply moving back. Suppression bug on that retreating MG, but it does get up and move away. Supply half-track actually gets caught by that T-34, and it will not be able to escape. There it goes, out of control, and that's going to delay HelpingHans' tech a little bit. He was probably hoping to set up a Schwer Panzer headquarters in the near future. He is up to 123 fuel. T-34 is pushing in quite aggressively, but that Rakettenwerfer will set up. Oh, but it does not survive the second pass of the Sturmovix. Oh, geez, and that is now engine damage on that Puma. He does pop smoke, and T-34 goes out of control, and it will not be able to fire its turret due to being out of control. I think we may see a Panzerfaust going in on this T-34. Oh, smoke is messing everything up, though. Oh, that's devastating that he lost that Puma. He does take out 2 T-34s, but he really needed that vetted up Puma, and now he's left with very little anti-tank. The reason, another factor going into Pumas being easily outproduced is that HelpingHans still has further to tech up. Getting more Pumas would be teching sideways, whereas Sturmtiger Sage6 has no reason to tech any further high, or any higher. Further high, and so he's content to continue pumping out T-34 medium tanks. He doesn't need any heavier armor than that. He doesn't really have access to any heavier armor than that with his particular commander choice. So this is his end game, and he can continue producing those, but HelpingHans absolutely cannot afford to keep on producing Pumas if he wants to get access to any of his higher tech units. So that makes things very difficult for him. He has a difficult decision to make, and it looks like he's already made it. Rather than getting any further Pumas, he will get a Jagdpanzer IV. So good decision there. That's a much higher fuel investment, and that pretty much will set him back for a long time. He won't be able to make any fuel-based purchases in the near future. We actually see a retreat bug again on these conscripts, and I'm not entirely sure that Rakettenwerfer will make it out either. They don't make it. Shrek snipe on the Rakettenwerfer crew. Grenade in the retreat path of the suppressed conscript squad. So that is a full triple vet conscript squad down. They had PPSH upgrades as well. So HelpingHans taking advantage of that to the maximum possible extent. He also recruits Rakettenwerfer, and And Hans is desperate for territory at this point. He has nothing. He doesn't even have the victory point over here on the left, so he really needs to retake some territory in that regard. T-34 moving up. Fresh one hits the field, but it will have to contend with a Jagdpanzer if it tries to be too aggressive. But again, I think Helping Hans is spreading himself rather thin, working on all fronts. Does have Volksgrenadiers over here. T-34 gets way too aggressive, not realizing that there's a Jagdpanzer, and he also sustains a Raketenwerfer shot, and he's actually diving. Oh, he dives in the base and kills a whole Sturm Pioneer squad that was salvaging a T-34 wreck. That is incredibly bad luck for Helping Hans. What are the odds? However, it looks like in the midst of all that, he wasn't really paying attention to his blob of infantry. It was just sort of walking straight into an MG, and that's going to actually delay Sage6 a little bit now that he's forced to retreat. He wasn't properly spread out on his approach, and he walked right into that vetted MG34. And Helping Hans actually has not used incendiary armor-piercing rounds at all this game. And that's a great way to inflict a little bit of extra manpower bleed, as the damage and penetration is better not just against light vehicles, but also enemy infantry. Infantry support gun has also hit Vet 2. It's up to 16 kills. It's definitely beginning to pay for itself over the course of the game. I think it still has a little ways to go before it will... Actually, that's not true. It killed a sniper, so it paid for itself quite early on, actually. I take that comment back. But his anti-infantry is still suffering. He really is relying purely on machine guns and the infantry support gun. I think that was a somewhat premature hit the dirt there. He's not going to be able to capture this point with the Volksgrenadiers defending, and a grenade will force premature retreat. We also see that a few squads are working on the left, and they have gotten it back. There's an MG34 over here defending the approach, and if those three infantry continue to stay that clumped together, they may actually find themselves running straight into it. But it packed up a little bit prematurely, so I'm not sure he should have done that. Volksgrenadiers also getting chased away by some PPSHs, but they'll be fine, I think. And it looks like, yes, he should have just left it set up, and that's a shame that he walked that machine gun right into the blob like that. And now his supply half-track is in trouble again. Jagdpanzer continuing to fire away at infantry. It actually does manage to nail a conscript. Regrouping a little bit in the headquarters as well. Helping Hans is definitely focused more on unit preservation than he is on map control, which is, of course, critical to winning as Over Commando West, keeping those units alive so they can live to see higher veterancy ranks. But he is running out of time. Only 250 points remain. And I think if this were any other map, he would be in a lot more trouble, but he has managed to hold on to the victory point right outside of his base for the majority of the game. He will be able to take it back in the near future, I suspect. If we take a look at Sage6, we don't see another T-34 getting produced. He's up to 200 fuel now, and I think he is sort of reevaluating the effectiveness of T-34s now that he knows he's up against a Jagdpanzer. I think he may even be considering taking back to the support weapon camp an eye out for an AT gun, which is the most effective counter to Jagdpanzers. We actually see a new flak half-track hitting the field. He really needs that little anti-infantry boost, and so we do see a flak half-track, and I think that that's much more manpower efficient than getting more Fallschirmjäger, for example. If we take a look at what his options are, that is only 270 manpower, so yes, it's a fuel investment, but much cheaper than a Fallschirmjäger squad, and hopefully more effective if he can keep it away from guards, keep it away from T-34s, and keep it away from AT grenades, which is a lot of juggling to do. Helping Hans loves his light vehicles, though, certainly very effective at microing them. So we'll see if this decision pays off for him economically. Nice burst right there, suppressing the squad instantly. It's another nice feature of the flak half-track. It just takes one flak burst to suppress a squad if it lands just right. So hopefully he'll be able to utilize that really well. Vet 5 on these Volksgrenadiers, but they are getting harassed by some full vet guards over here. 19 kills now on the infantry support gun as well. Fortunately, not quite as accurate as it was against those snipers. Helping Hans continuing to push, continuing to be aggressive, focusing on both the middle and the left rather than just one side, and I think that's quite difficult for him. We do see some sort of artillery coming in on this Oh, I think that was a Stuka strafing run? I don't know what that was. Nothing happened. It was weird. Jagdpanzer and Flak Half-Track are forced to back up a little bit. We actually do see the machine gun pinning those guards, so they'll be forced to retreat. There they go. Flak Half-Track is just hidden around these bushes, trying to suppress anything that rounds the corner. Oh, he does pack it up though, not wanting to get AT grenaded, and the T-34 is making an aggressive push. He will lose this Flak Half-Track if he doesn't keep it moving, but he set it back up for some reason. He was not able to suppress anything because of that, and lost it, so it was a little too much to handle there, and the smoke from its wreckage is actually going to block these Jagdpanzer shots as well. Jagdpanzer does get one shot off on the Jagdpanzer, or on the T-34. And AT Grenadier is actually deflected by the Jagdpanzer's frontal armor, so that was nice. T-34 shot misses. What is he doing with that T-34 though? He needs to get that, at least face the correct direction. These conscripts are actually going to steal the Raketenwerfer though, and it is a very significant threat against a Jagdpanzer if he allows that to get away. He's much more focused on hunting this T-34 down though, trying not to give it an escape route. It's now heavily damaged. He's going to guard its escape route with the Jagdpanzer here. He tries to get a shot through the bushes, but it does not work, and he's actually forced to back away because of his damaged engine, and the T-34 will get away clean unless these Fallschirmjäger can catch it with a lucky Panzerfaust. Unfortunately, they auto-ejected the building on the left side rather than the right side, and that T-34 is going to be home free. He spent 440 manpower to try to kill that T-34. Did not pay off. And now he's going to be forced to live with this Fallschirmjäger squad, unless the T-34 makes a bad turn. Oh, that could be close. Very close. It's going to be forced to make another turn right up here. And he does get the Faust off. It will be on the rear armor too. Boom! There it goes. He gets the T-34. Wow. I thought it was home free for sure, but he continued chasing. Maybe Sage6 didn't notice, or maybe he just had no... I don't know, I felt like he did one too many little weird turns up here. I think it could have gotten away, but it just didn't. Poorly executed there, or just perfectly executed by HelpingHans, one or the other. Not sure. Fully repaired Jagdpanzer hitting the field. And, nice map harassment actually by this machine gun of all things. It's now Vet 5 as well. He's done a good job of carefully utilizing that machine gun to turn it into a real killing machine. Schumann going down as well. Fallschirmjäger, this is a Vet 2 squad, guard in the middle. There is no machine gun set up just yet. It is moving up. Infantry support gun continues firing away. It has not yet been cleared, up to 20 kills now. Still no armor-piercing rounds going out on the machine gun. Something I would highly recommend in this situation when you need to convince one blob to retreat before the second one makes it up on your flanks. Volksgrenadiers moving up as well. There goes that force, but we still have 2 squads over here, 3 squads coming up over here. Raketenwerfer is probably going to take up a position in the building to deter this Jagdpanzer from anything. And we also have Vet 3 guards with DP machine guns in this house. So Sage6 is continuing to press as hard as he can, also harassing in the north. But it's really quite important that he get control of that 3rd victory point. Fortunately for him, HelpingHans has spent a lot of fuel on mid-game type stuff. Pumas, Flak Half-Tracks, the Jagdpanzers, and now a Stuka. Stuka certainly not a bad purchase, but it is delaying Hans from getting any real late-game units. We're not going to see a Sturm Tiger. We're not going to see Obersoldaten. We're not going to see Lux even, as he just has not found the opportunity to get his Schwer Panzer headquarters up. And we're certainly not going to be seeing a King Tiger anytime soon. But Stuka is hitting the field now, and hopefully he will be able to make good use of that to clear garrisons, take out large blobs, and hopefully just get some lucky squad wipes. Especially on these annoying conscripts that are just crawling all over the map. Sturm Pioneers moving up to chase off some conscripts over here with the support of an MG. Another engagement happening over here, but he retreats from that a little prematurely, I think. It was just a flamethrower burst, but I guess he didn't feel comfortable sticking around. Fallschirmjäger continuing to capture the central victory point. Jagdpanzer firing. Stuka barrage going out, probably on this squad right here. Yes, but it retreats just in time. Heavy casualties on that conscript squad, and if he chases with those Fallschirmjäger, he could take it out. Looks like he's not going to chase though. He's just going to stay and cap. Definitely, I think he could have wiped that squad out. Vet 5 Volksgrenadiers getting pushed away by some conscripts with PPSH upgrade. We also have a new T-34 on the field. I think that's T-34 number 6, if my count is correct. I'm not entirely certain. Fallschirmjäger continue to work on the center. Stern Pioneers take a nasty shot, opening shot from that T-34. They're also quite clumped. Ooh, shot misses though, fortunately. He will retreat that Volksgrenadier squad. He probably could have gotten a shot off, but he doesn't want to risk losing that Vet 5 squad. Munitions will be retaken by these flamethrowers here on the right. Fallschirmjäger are probably going to get pushed back by these DP machine guns and conscripts. We still have quite a bit of time before the next barrage, almost a full minute. Jagdpanzer moves up to deter this T-34. It may be able to get a few shots off between this gap. Yes, it is able to fire, just barely, and that's Vet 1 for the Jagdpanzer, finally giving it access to cautious movement, which I doubt he'll be using. It's actually not all that useful on the Jagd. Nice series of shots, though. He's able to get quite a few off before that T-34 is able to round the corner. He tries to chase, but he knows that's not going to happen, and he backs off. And we actually do see the victory point getting retaken on the left side. Fortunately, this Vet 5 MG is going to be able to hold the center, at least momentarily. This flanking squad of conscripts does convince him to retreat, which is bad because he really needs to hold one victory point. As soon as his opponent has all three, that clock's going to start ticking really fast. Fortunately, Volksgrenadiers are working on the left side. These conscripts actually repositioned for whatever reason. Fallschirmjäger continuing to harass. They're moving up the right side. Actually got sniped by the Raketenwerfer there. Big force moving in on the central victory point. Jagdpanzer just randomly firing at some conscripts over there. And he just retreats that squad of conscripts, or Fallschirmjäger, so that he can focus on the left side, which is becoming more and more important for him to hold. He actually brings in a new MG34. He actually feels the needs for a third MG despite having a Vet 3 and a Vet 5. Just needs to cover more ground with those machine guns. Fallschirmjäger convinced one squad to retreat. Firing away on more conscripts over here. A bundled grenade actually goes out. Ooh, dealing heavy damage to those conscripts. And he may get one full squad, possibly. Not sure. Stuka actually could fire in the retreat path, but he doesn't opt to. He actually takes out the... Yeah, he takes out one of the squads, but he does not manage to get the other one, unfortunately. Ooh, guards take a nasty shot from the infantry support gun, I think, and almost loses an entire squad of guards right there. And that's why you want it, so that it'll get those lucky shots over the course of the game. Just help push your opponent's economy to its limits. We do see two T-34s on the field now. He didn't get too aggressive with a single T-34, waited till he had a second one, and now we're going to see a push. We actually have a Stuka firing, probably at this, if I had to guess. Oh, nice! The Ura doesn't quite save that squad, and the other one is fine, though. Jagdpanzer takes a nasty shot from that set of T-34s. We have a strafe coming in, could do some heavy damage, yes. Ooh, nasty damage on that Volksgrenadier squad. Yikes. T-34s do locate the Stuka, but they're not particularly interested. They're simply going for the flank on that Jagd, and that Jagd needs to keep on moving. It's got itself in a nasty position. We could see a Panzerfaust going out from these Fallschirmjäger, though. We also need to see... there's no Panzerschreck on this Volksgrenadier squad, and this flanking T-34 does take out the Jagdpanzer, putting that Stuka in a lot of danger. Fortunately, the Vet 5 Volksgrenadier squad will be able to screen. We do have a damaged engine on this T-34. This one is gravely wounded. He needs to fire the one with working engine, but he does not. Fortunately, it's charging straight into him for some reason. He doesn't have the munitions for another Panzerfaust, though, and he's got to fire that Panzerschreck. He just doesn't think he's going to be able to get it off, and he retreats, and that's actually going to be able to get away, I think. We do see the Stuka is still in a lot of danger. T-34 is now going to be hunting it down, and the infantry support gun is so overextended. That's a Vet 3 infantry support gun that he's going to lose now because there's just no way it can possibly survive. And now the Stuka's got to drive all over the map just to get back to safety. If only that Yagd had somehow survived, if only he'd had that Vet 5 Volksgrenadier squad in his base for that rush, then he would be in much better condition right now. And now the Stuka, I believe, is dead. There will be no surviving this. So that was bad. That is a very bad series of engagements for HelpingHans, and he's actually resorting to a Puma now. Continuing to tech sideways. No chance of a late game. Even 40 minutes in now. Just the act of a desperate man. He really wants to hunt down that T-34 as Vet 2. Just a couple of good shots on that could take it out. He may even rush the base. I don't know. Infantry continuing to fight over here in the middle, desperately clawing for that victory point. Conscripts catch the Puma and they will damage its engine, so it won't be able to do anything for a moment. Just endless waves of Soviet infantry pushing and pushing. HelpingHans never really setting up a defensive line here on his own side of the map, constantly pushing over here, doing things, spreading himself out a little bit too much, never really defending this fuel point all too effectively either. And now he can't afford to, because he absolutely must maintain control of at least 1.5 victory points if he wants to have any chance of surviving Sage6's next push, which looks like it's going to include a lot of veteran infantry and at least one T-34. If we take a look, 2 T-34s. By the time this one's repaired, that one hits the field. There are going to be 2 T-34s rushing HelpingHans, and the only thing he's going to have to defend against it is a Puma and 2 PTRSs and 1 Panzerschreck. As the Raketenwerfer is still in Sage6's hand and sitting in this building, and it will probably be in that building until either it dies or the end of the game, meaning that HelpingHans will never be able to recover it, because if it dies in the building, it will not be recoverable. Fallschirmjäger scouting ahead, and they see a force that they cannot possibly contend with. Puma pushing forward just a little bit. T-34 finds the Volksgrenadiers. Panzerschreck shot does connect. Second T-34 moving up. Flamethrowers moving up into the house. We have MG-34 defending, finally, this victory point, so hopefully any spare push over there won't get it. Oh, it looks like a full squad of Volksgrenadiers went down. Full squad of Fallschirmjäger also follows, but they do recover a Panzerschreck. More pressure. Ooh, there was a miner right there. Only 1 Volksgrenadier dies as a result, though. Lots of pressure coming in from Sage6 for this victory point. This T-34 is actually being quite defensive, though. Not going to do anything too crazy there. PTRS fires, but the Panzerschreck is on the other Fallschirmjäger squad now. Oh, yeah, he didn't lose the full squad. He just dropped the Panzerschreck, so they're fine, fortunately. This MG-34 moving up. He's really lacking any long-range AT. Raketenwerfer would help to push. The T-34 is back a little bit, but he's extremely strapped for manpower right now, spending every last ounce he can get his hands on. Unfortunately, his MG-34 is actually not standing on the point, and this conscript squad may be able to get it decapped. Yes, it definitely will. In fact, it may even force a retreat from that MG-34. It didn't use armor-piercing rounds when it had the chance. He's not going to retreat, though. He's simply going to reposition. And fortunately, this force of infantry was moving up to force that conscript squad to retreat. But we do have a strafe coming in, and he may suffer heavy damage. Yikes. Very heavy damage on that Fallschirmjäger squad, but it does narrowly survive. T-34 continuing to apply pressure here in the center. And there's no Raketenwerfer, no Panzerschreck, nothing, just a Puma, and a Puma cannot possibly deter 2 T-34s. There's just absolutely no way. A second Puma! Jeez, he's pumping way too much resources into Pumas. It's too late. It's too late for Pumas. He's too behind. I just can't see how this could possibly work. Strafe continuing. Oh, plane actually gets shot down. MG34 firing. Another MG34 firing over here, but the pressure is still on the center victory point. Only 30 points remain. He's got to micro these Pumas absolutely as hard as he can, desperately trying to keep them alive. Some damage finally goes out on T-34 up there. The infantry support gun is actually up to 40 kills and Vet 5. I'm actually not sure how it got away over here, but apparently it did, which is amazing. So continuing to fire that. Pumas racking up a little bit of damage, forcing those tanks back, and the Fallschirmjäger here are now Vet 4 and managed to push back this squad and will be able to retake the central victory point. As his waves of infantry were shattered against these MG34s. Puma's trying to take advantage of superior range, dealing somewhat healthy damage to those T-34s, but they will charge. That Puma's dead. This one unlikely to survive either. Although it was close. To Hans' credit, but he didn't have the munitions to take advantage of smoke or aim shot or anything. He doesn't even have enough for a Panzer... Oh, he already used a Panzerfaust on this one. And I think he almost got a little bit lazy right there. He let the T-34s close in. He didn't micro them backwards to take advantage of superior range. And by lazy, I of course mean he was probably dealing with something else on the field. Panzer Shrek actually goes out and takes out the engine damaged T-34, leaving Sage6 again with only one T-34. And it looks like infantry are winning the day, not light vehicles. Another big push coming. Another T-34 hits the field. That's what, T-34 number 9? Possibly 10? I couldn't tell you for sure at this point. Panzer Shrek goes out, does connect. Still no Rakettenwerfer on the field. I definitely think that would be helpful. Panzerfaust actually lands. Very nice. Very good series of shots from the infantry support gun as well, dealing heavy damage to these advancing conscripts. Oh no, that could be good. Ooh, that was good. He dodged it just in time, I think, to save the squad. And we have another infantry push forced to retreat, and a damaged engine T-34 taking mild damage from a PTRS. I almost want... He is using it! He's using improved hollow charge rounds on the T-34. Here it comes. It's not firing. Oh, well, that's disappointing, I think. Oh, there it goes. Jeez, that's a terrible ability. Could it... No, didn't connect. Okay, well... A for effort. Come on, just one shot. No, T-34 is actually getting super aggressive, charging the base. Oh, heavy casualties from the crush. Will be forced to retreat. PTRS, Volksgrenadiers, also trying to do what they can. Man, what a miserable ability that was. I'm disappointed. I think it's because it had to... Oh, full squad down. Had to do high-angle rounds. It couldn't fire directly, I guess. Oh, well. And there you have it. That's why nobody uses that ability, because it's not actually useful at all.
Enemy flanking us!
He's actually just going to barrage the point now. Oh no! Cleared out! A Vet 5 support gun cleared out by one T-34 round. That's a shame. Desperate for AT at this point. He's making another Puma. Still no Rakettenwerfer. It's crazy. Oh, that is close. Strafe also coming in. Oh, full Volk squad down. Plane also crashes. Things are looking grim. Very bleak. 20 points remaining. He does still have the left side victory point, but he's gonna need to pull out off a miracle at this point to take out these tanks. Sage6 is now 3 T-34s. And in the long run, he was indeed able to outproduce the Pumas. Puma spam just cannot beat T-34 spam unless microed perfectly. Very difficult to do. And he just has not been able to pull it off against this this particular force. Puma getting some shots off. Doing what it can, but honestly, what can a Puma do against 3 T-34s? It's just impossible. Machine gun getting cleared.
Has been lost.
And that will bring Sage6 well into the lead, both in infantry and in armor. Helping Hans has nothing but a light vehicle and 2 Fallschirmjäger squads, one with a Panzerschreck. Fallschirmjäger cost a fortune to reinforce, especially when you have 2 squads. That's a lot. That's actually where a lot of his manpower is going, is into Fallschirmjäger and Pumas as well. Engine damage on a lucky T-34 shot right there. He will round the corner, but there's not much he's going to be able to do. Super aggressive push. Puma goes down. Infantry also going down. And we do see well played, and we do see the surrender. So that's the end of the game. And super fun game to watch. Lots of light vehicle usage by Helping Hans, as usual for him. Lots of great infantry pushes by Sage6. There were a few occasions where he blobbed up a little too tight and got caught and pushed back by MGs, but for the vast majority of the game, he's super spread out, pulling off very nice aggressive pushes in every possible nook and cranny that you can think of, circling all the way around the top half of the map, managing to harass and push even this left victory point. And I think Hans is wishing he had set up a slightly more defensive line in the earlier stages of the game, making those pushes a little more difficult, but instead he was quite aggressive, pushing into the right side even if he didn't necessarily fully hold the left. So I think that was possibly his biggest mistake, as I thought his unit preservation was quite spot on for most of the game, but he also never really teched up to later game units, and I think that's more of maybe even more of his style than because of economic concerns, but I couldn't tell you for sure. I thought the Jagdpanzer performed extremely well until it was taken out by a nice push into the base. I think it actually could have survived that if it had continued backpedaling, but he was too busy microing his infantry to try and deal with it, and it just didn't quite work out for him, unfortunately. So, nice T-34 micro by Sage6 for sure. Fun game to watch, and I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, feel free to send me a replay of your own. I'm always happy to do casts, and thanks for watching.